There she is.
How did you know it was me?
Who else would it be?
That's true.
So how was your morning?
Tiring.
Yeah, mine too. Those two little urchins ran me ragged.
Welcome home, Dad.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be any other place. What's your excuse?
My excuse?
For being tired. Stop by the courthouse?
No, why would I do that?
Thorne's bail hearing.
Oh, of course.
You are out of it. So what were you doing? Hi, honey.
Hi, Dad. Oh, here.
What? What you been reading?
It's this article about Thorne.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's really unbelievable.
I'm sure that's what the Forresters are thinking.
I'm sure they're in shock. They'd have to be. God, they could really use my help right now.
Yes, they could.
It's just another reason to tell everyone I'm alive.
I can think of very, very few reasons not to.
Well, I saw Brooke again today.
How'd that go?
As traumatic as the first meeting.
You can't expect Brooke to see this the way that you would like her to see it.
I don't know how I expect her to see it. I don't know what I want her to see, and I don't even know if it matters.
Yeah, what you would really like is for Brooke to be very cooperative and give you back your husband. And it does matter.
Dad, what matters is Rich and the children and how they see it and how they react to it.
Sweetheart, you are not the solution to their problems. You didn't cause them. Now, your primary concern right now is you, and you have to remember that.
That one always gives me trouble.
You're the psychiatrist. If you had a patient who said, I'm going to make all the major decisions in my life right now based on what everybody else wants, what would you say to that patient?
It's always so good for me to talk to you, Dad.
Father knows best.
I used to have all the answers. College and medical school, 2 residencies, Taylor Hayes, doctor of psychiatry, and Taylor Forrester, wife and doctor of psychiatry. God, how I loved my life. I want it back, Daddy. I want it back.
Order! May we have some order here, please? Proceed, Mr. Danforth.
So, what you've told us, Miss Alexander, is that the night before your wedding, your fiancé informed you that Ivana Vanderveld, your maid of honor, would not be showing up for the wedding. Isn't that right?
Mr. Danforth, what Thorne meant by that...
What he meant by that is anyone's guess. The fact is, that's what he said, is it not?
Yes. But that doesn't mean that he killed her.
No, it doesn't, Miss Alexander. But Thorne's admission to the police that he was there with Ivana when she made that 911 call, along with the call itself, plus the murder weapon and the flashlight, both belonging to Thorne, both with his fingerprints on them. Those facts could mean that he killed her, could they not?
Your Honor, what is Mr. Danforth's point? This is not a trial. This is a bond hearing. Is he trying to convince you to convict my client?
All I'm trying to do, Mr. Davis, is to demonstrate an overwhelming amount of evidence against your client. Having done that, it seems to me that my request for $1 million bail is hardly exorbitant.
All right, let's talk about the evidence. Since you opened the door, Your Honor, if I may be permitted, I'd like to ask the witness a couple more questions.
Are you finished, Mr. Danforth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Proceed, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Your Honor. Macy, I want you to tell the judge how much Thorne hated Ivana.
What?
You heard me. In your own words, I want you to explain to His Honor exactly the depth of Thorne's hatred for this woman.
I wouldn't say that Thorne actually hated Ivana.
Macy, it's all right. We're trying to get at the truth here. Just explain to the judge exactly what you think Thorne's feelings toward Ivana were.
Your Honor.
No, Mr. Danforth, I want to hear this.
Well, Thorne was upset with her. He was very upset. He had dated her, and he thought he knew her, and then suddenly he had good reason to believe that she was sending me those threatening letters.
And how long had he felt this way about her?
Several weeks.
So, on the eve of your marriage, when Thorne came to you and explained that Ivana was no longer to be your maid of honor, and that he had been to see her and even argued with her, did that surprise you?
No.
Because Thorne had never kept his feelings about Ivana a secret, had he?
No.
Had he, prior to this, voiced any objections about her being your maid of honor?
Yes.
But you went ahead and asked her anyway. Why is that?
I guess I can be an idealist. I just wanted us all to be friends.
That's understandable. Isn't it also understandable that a man would be upset, very upset even, if a woman he knew intended to do you harm was your first choice as maid of honor?
Yes, I think that's very understandable.
I think so too. As a matter of fact, I've been there myself. On one occasion, I have said, I would love to kill that person for what they've done.
Objection.
I'll withdraw. For the record, I did not kill that person. Now, Macy, on what basis did Thorne suspect that it was Ivana who sent you those letters? Was it a hunch of his?
Oh, no, the police had evidence.
Your Honor.
I'd be happy to produce the police who come up here and testify as to this evidence. I'm trying to save the court some time.
Miss Alexander, do you know what this evidence was?
Yes, Your Honor. They found Ivana's fingerprints on one of the letters I received.
So Thorne had every
Just a
reason
minute,
not only...
Mr. Davis, are you aware of this, Mr. Danforth?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm also aware that the police told Mr. Forrester that they had applied for a search warrant and that they'd have the evidence that they were looking for in the morning. Now, obviously, Mr. Forrester couldn't wait.
Is that true, Mr. Forrester?
She would have destroyed the evidence.
So you took matters into your own hands?
No, I decided to see that justice was done. This woman was sending death threats, Your Honor. I went there to get evidence. That's the only reason.
So how did you get into Miss Vanderbilt's apartment?
Your Honor, I beg your pardon. If I may have a moment to confer with my client?
Yes, I think that's a very good idea, Mr. Davis. You do that.
So where did you go? Do you have an appointment?
Yes.
You are working too hard.
No, I'm not rich. I need my work. Really.
You're starting to sound like me. Guess that's what happens.
Yeah. Spend too much time with a guy who probably even started looking like him, huh?
Oh, please, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's a good point.
So are you starting to think lewd and lascivious thoughts right now like me? Unfortunately, your sister and our two little children could walk through that door at any moment. But then we could lock the door and just take our chances. What's the matter?
Just exhausted.
To the point of tears? What's going on?
Rich, I'll be okay, really.
Logan, I want to talk about something here.
What?
This all is running you ragged. Taking care of me, taking care of the kids, going to work as well. We need to get some extra help around here.
You know, I think you might have a good point there.
Well, good. I'm glad you agree. Because I'd like you to call that volunteer at the hospital and have her come over and help us. In fact, better yet, why don't I call her? I'll call her. Of course you want your life back. You had a good one. You had so much, Taylor.
You know, and it wasn't just my marriage. I had family, and I had friends, and a career, a profession that I loved, and I was good at it.
Stephanie thought of you as though you were her very own daughter.
I miss her, too. I miss her talks we used to have. Now my life just feels empty.
It's going to stay that way unless you let every one of them know.
It's so inevitable, isn't it? I'm never going to be happy without the life I had. My life was taken away from me. And I have every right to get it back.
somebody next week.
Oh, you're gonna do it today, right now. I have the number of the hospital in this briefcase.
Ridge, it's really not necessary.
Logan, I get along well with her. I'd be in good hands while you're at work.
Look, I think we should find somebody more professional.
More professional? The volunteer is perfect. Besides, I kind of like her.
Let's not talk about this right now, okay?
Yes, we have to talk about it now. I don't want to see you beat yourself up this way. Look at you, you're practically a basket case. Logan, we need help in this house now.
Yes, I know, but...
Look, I'm doing this for you. You're burning the candle at both ends here, and you're gonna make yourself sick.
Okay, we will get help. But not...
Not the volunteer? What do you have against her?
Nothing. I don't think she's the right person for the job, that's all.
Are you jealous?
No, I'm not jealous.
Yes, you are. Come here. Come here. Come on. Sit down. What, do you think I'm gonna have some feelings for this volunteer here?
Oh, Ridge, cut it out.
Well, there is a certain chemistry happening, I must admit.
Please.
Logan, you must know by now that there's never gonna be anybody else but you. I am yours. I will always be yours. And I would never do anything to jeopardize you or this. The volunteer's even seen that. She's even seen us together.
Yeah, she has. She certainly has.
I don't want you saying anymore.
Are you crazy? I am gonna look as guilty as hell
You
here.
already look as guilty as hell here. Look, I'm walking a tightrope out there, and you just knocked me off. Let me do my job. Don't incriminate yourself.
Mr. Davis, would you like a recess?
No, Your Honor. Everything's fine. I'm just advising my client of his Fifth Amendment rights.
I suggest you follow his advice, Mr. Forrester. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Danforth, do you know how he got into the apartment?
The police found his fingerprints on both the outside and the inside of a window that was broken. Apparently, that's how he got in.
Do you have any idea of what kind of evidence he was looking for?
A typewriter and some stationery.
Well, I think I've heard enough. Ms. Alexander, you may step down. Do either of you have anything to add before I make a ruling?
Yes, Your Honor. I would submit that my client is a very respected member of this community with no prior arrest record, and that he deserves every right to the presumption of innocence and a fair bail.
Mr. Danforth.
I think the circumstances of the killing, that Mr. Forrester decided to take matters into his own hands and persisted even after the victim called the police for assistance, demands a substantial bond, Your Honor. Frankly, whatever his past reputation, Mr. Forrester is a danger to the community.
Your Honor, this is absurd. It's outrageous.
That's enough, Mr. Davis. We have here a murder weapon with fingerprints. We have incriminating statements by the defendant himself that he broke into the apartment, argued with Miss Vanderveld, and was there when she called 911 for help. 12 minutes later, the police showed up, and the victim was dead. Unfortunately, Mr. Davis, I have to conclude that the proof is evident and the presumption is great that your client committed an especially heinous killing during the course of a burglary. Under these circumstances, I feel that I must deny bond.
No? Your Honor, I beg the court's indulgence. This is totally unfair.
I have made my ruling. Mr. Bailiff, take the prisoner away.
Don't worry, Thorne. I'll get you out.
Connor, what are we going to do about this?
We will appeal.
Connor, you should have taken the bail offer. How long is this going to take?
A couple of days.
All right, in the meantime, my son stays in jail. That's unacceptable.
We need to keep our wits about us. I will straighten this out, I promise you.
Well, I don't care what it costs or what it takes for you to do. I do not want him in jail.
Stephanie, I agree with you. He doesn't belong in jail. I will handle it. Excuse me.
Connor, how could this happen?
Macy, I'm sorry.
This is wrong. This is so wrong.
I know. We will straighten it out, I promise you. In the meantime, I've talked to the prosecutor, and he's going to allow you to have some time alone with Thorne.
Thank you.
Well, so much for the wedding, huh? Darling, we gotta call the minister. We gotta cancel the chapel. Everything.
Officers, hold on 1 second, please.
Look, Connor says that we're gonna appeal this.
I know.
So we're just gonna wait a couple more days, okay?
As long as it takes, Thorne, I'll be here.
We're gonna have that wedding. Maybe not tonight.
Sure.
It's gonna be bigger and it's gonna be more beautiful than ever, Macy.
The biggest and the best.
So you hang on to that. You believe that and you think about that day that I'm gonna be released because it's gonna happen.
Soon. Real soon.
You okay?
I'll be fine. And we are going to beat this thing, Thorne.
You bet we are.
We're going to be stronger for it. That's why this is happening.
I know. Somehow we're being prepared for something.
To climb Mount Everest.
In handcuffs.
First couple ever.
Honey, we're gonna get through this. We will get through this.
Mr. Foster, it's time to go.
You keep your chin up.
Don't worry about me. Just you stay strong.
Always.
Always.
Want to go with?
No, thanks.
Exercise is a great stress reliever.
Well, I'd have to do a triathlon to get rid of mine.
All right, I'll see you later.
Don't overdo it.
I want to talk to you.
Brooke, I think we've said everything that needs to be said.
No, we haven't. I haven't.
Well, it isn't going to change anything. Ridge has to be told.
All right. You can tell Ridge. Fine. But let's make a deal.